Well, hello. I'm starting a brand new series today called Website Wednesdays, and I'm going to take you on a very short trip through a different website on Wednesdays that might help you with your military research, specifically World War I and World War II. Now, if you're new here, I'm Jennifer Hollick with the World War II Research and Writing Center and the Ancestral Souls Wisdom School. 16 years ago, I developed the two-part strategy to research any veteran from World War I to Vietnam, even if the record's burned. I wrote the books, I take research clients, I write and publish for clients, and I also teach classes every week. And starting in August 2026, I will have pre-recorded classes, and you will not find as in-depth or comprehensive military research education anywhere else in the country. So let's get started. Today, I want to show you Mansell.com. And this is looking at the prisoner of war of the Japanese. Now, Mansell's website has gotten a reboot this year, which I think is fantastic because it is so immense, you can very easily get lost in here. So they've added some new search functions. They have added a bit more history, and you can scroll down through here. It talks about Roger Mansell, who originally started this project, digitized these records. And I believe that all of the records, or just about all of them, that are in the National Archives at College Park, Maryland, for prisoners of the Japanese from World War II are probably digitized somewhere on this website, or if the files are too large, they have a copy and it will tell you to just ask for them. Now, some of these records you will also find on the National Archives catalog. You might also find some of this on Internet Archive, especially the Yokohama war crime trials. Now, one of the things that I would invite you to do as you start to go through this website is document. Start a Word file, and every page and every URL you come across that is helpful, note it in your Word document. The reason I tell you this is because the website is so vast and you can start to go down so many different rabbit holes here. You'll find records on a POW camp, then you will go and look for something else about a hell ship, and then you'll be somewhere else, or you'll do a search and you'll find your veteran's name somewhere. You can very easily get lost and disoriented here. But I will tell you that this website is incredible. The number of resources that are international archives and photographs, maps, all kinds of things exist here. Last year in 2025, I had a client hire me to research her father's POW experience, and she had already done a lot of research, but I picked it up and then I wrote a book for her. She published it as a private project, so it is not available for the world to purchase. But her dad was in several camps. He was on a couple of different hell ships, and this was one of the sources with the military records that we used to not only put his timeline together, but then for me to write the book. Now, she had a lot of other information. She had some newspaper articles. He gave some interviews when he came home. He had an enormous scrapbook of little scraps of paper of things that he wrote down that he was able to get home. And the family had all of the letters that they sent to him, which were, of course, returned, at least in the beginning. So we were able to create this really rich book about his military service prior to becoming a prisoner, and then what happened to him afterward and how he lived the rest of his life. So you can start several different ways. If you know some of the camps in which your veteran or your family's war dead was living, you can start searching that way. You can also go up here and do just a regular search up in the top right or a multi-site search. Now, this individual's, this client's father was actually ended up, his last camp was in Sendai, and I'm sure I'm not saying that correctly, but that command camp group had a lot of sub camps. So when you find the different camps, and again, you really need to start through the research strategy and looking at where the paper trail takes you, and then search the site, search narrow catalog, search Internet Archive. You're going to find all kinds of pieces that are going to start to build the timeline. So it isn't like you can just come to this site and you're going to have everything right there. No, you have to do the research. And actually in August 2026, I'm teaching my prisoner of war class. So if you're interested in that, in the description, there's a link to my online store. And that class will also be available as a pre-recorded program for those who don't want to take it live. And we will cover a lot of this in there. But within these different camps, when you click on them, every camp has a page that tells you where it was, the name of the camp, and then there will be differing pieces of information as you go down the page. But usually it will give you a little bit about the camp, the timeline of the camp. There will often, but not always, be some photographs that are attached. There will be varying types of rosters, information on the kind of labor that was done there, maybe the hell ships that brought prisoners there. There could be information about deaths and other things that happened. Every page is similar but different. Then when you click on any of these, like rescue rosters, they're going to take you to another page and they're going to tell you the source of where they got some of this information. And then let's say you're researching Robert Abbott and you click that. Well, where is that going to take you? Well, he was part of the 39th Bomb Group. So now you're going to get some of that information. Okay. So Mansell.com is an amazing place to start your Japanese prisoner of war research. And I'm sad to say that there isn't anything that I've discovered on the German POW side that is as extensive as this. There are some German POW camp websites that might have a little bit of information. You might find a few things on NARA catalog, but for the most part, it's not digitized. You might find some records on the court cases in the Nuremberg trials that took place, maybe on Internet Archive or within National Archives catalog. I think I just found another link for one of those a couple days ago. So a lot of information exists online for prisoners of the Japanese, not so much for the prisoners of the Germans. But again, you also have to just do the research. I can tell you for prisoners of the Germans, a lot of people wrote books afterward. There is a POW Reunion Association. I'm not sure if it's still functioning, but I believe they still have a website. So lots of places that you can start to look. And again, come and take a class with me and I will teach you the two-part research strategy and you can learn how to research a prisoner of war. And if they died, then they will also have an individual deceased personnel file, which there will be other videos on that coming up. So enjoy Mansell.com. Let me know if you've explored it and what amazing things you have found there, what struggles you've had with it. And again, just keep a list of every single page on that site with the URL and what you find there because you will get lost. There's so much there.